Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's MMR class. Please, if you can hear me, just send a thumbs up so I can know that everyone can. Good morning. Can you hear me? All right, please let's all confirm that we can hear me so that we're able to go into today's class. It's because now on GBP USD, if you follow your Forex Factory, you know that 8 a.m. this morning, we're having the CPI for GBP. And, I'm sure the news is out already for early morning traders. I'm sure you should have been able to, take advantage of it. Okay. Please all confirm that here so that we can actually go in to today's analysis. It's actually going to be a very profitable day today. So I'm excited. I don't know if you're excited. My name is Anita. So I'm going to be taking today's MMR. Okay, somebody's asking me, what did I say about GBP? So just like I said, we're having the CPI coming from GBP this morning, and it is out already. So we can see that it came out negative. Yes, it came out negative. The core CPI, I hope you all can see my screen because, money is already coming in today. So if you understand what is happening right now, you know that on your GBP USD, this is a good time to take a sell. Let's see how that is happening on the market. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is a 1 hour time frame. So okay, so let's go to the chart. All right, then we can see that there was no much impact on this particular CPI instead the news is actually doing okay. You could see here that a movement happened. It sold up to this particular point. However, we can see that a retracement is happening almost immediately. That is one. I don't know if anybody was able to take advantage of this move, or this is our 1 hour time frame. We could see that by 8 a.m. price dropped because the news came out negative for the GBP. However, a retracement has started already. So I don't know if anybody was able to take advantage of this particular move. So GBP CPI is out this morning already, 8 a.m. But we still have more interesting news. I would always say it as a trader, you need to understand what's happening in your Forex Factory before anything else. Because with your Forex Factory, it's able to tell you how you're supposed to position yourself for the day in this particular market so that you're not being caught on aware. We already saw that even for the past few days, GBP has actually done some major some sales. As of yesterday, we saw the retracement happen, and we are still seeing the buy happen. But what is interesting is the fact that today we're going to be having a decision maker by 7 p.m. I feel that this news is going to actually help us know, or this news is definitely going to give us a definite direction of how to handle the market moving forward. One thing you want to pay attention to, this market is about economy, right? So I know that a lot of clients just want to know, where am I taking my buy, where am I taking my sell? But you understanding the market you're trading is going to help you know when to hold on to a trade or when to close the trade. And that is why I would always advise you don't have to be a jack of all trades on the market. Understand the instrument, right? So let's go into today's, I think let's head into today's Forex Factory first. Let's see what the market is offering us so that we can move from there. Good. I hope you all can see my screen. We have from the JPY, we have a bank holiday. So we have no volatility at all coming from JPY. But we would also remember that yesterday we saw by 4:36 a.m., we saw the Bank of Japan actually increase interest rates for the first time in 17 years. We already know that one thing about the JPY, one thing about the yen is the fact that once the whole inflation the entire world has been running helter-skelter for, they have not felt it at all. That means when we're talking about inflation, they were talking about deflation. But recently, all of a sudden, they're talking about increasing interest rates. So for the first time in 17 years, we saw JPY increase their interest rates, and they're also looking at increasing minimum wage. If there is one thing we know that this particular economy has that a lot of economies don't have is cheap labor. And that is why that most of the things we buy, even from Nigeria, from the US, you would see made in China. It's either made in China, assembled in China, but somehow, in fact, some of these chips come from Taiwan. So that's what makes them one of the biggest economy in the world, because they are a producing nation. And if only our dear country, Nigeria, is able to adapt that nation, adapt that particular strategy. I mean, we were talking about from consumption to production here, but this particular economy has production in, that is their main income generation. They are able to, they have cheap labor, and that is why most companies, irrespective of where they are, would always go back to China or go back to this particular region to be able to do most businesses with them. However, you already know that once there's an interest rate, there's supposed to be a spike up. There's supposed to be strength in that particular economy, right? But yesterday we actually saw that even with the increase of interest rate, it didn't go so well for the JPY. We're going to look at that when we head to the chart. And we also saw the Canadian CPI. I hope you guys did not miss this trade on CAD yesterday by 1:30. It was a smooth and direct market. In fact, when I saw the news, I said, this is how a news is supposed to come out, either red or green. Don't stress us with the red, black, green, everything. You know how the US like to release their own data. Everything is just sum up. But when you look at the card yesterday by 1:30, beautiful movement, and it was direct. And I'm sure that if you're able to take advantage of it, you made some good money. I'd always tell you, don't just always look at from the USD. Yes, the USD would, moves the market, but once in a while, try to look at other countries' CPI, try to look at their GDP so that you're able to take advantage of a very clean and cut market. But those are basically the news we had yesterday, which we're going to look at the impact on the charts. Then moving to today, today is going to be a very fantastic time. We're going to see by 9:45 a.m. We've already seen the movement by GPP. That's from their CPI. We saw it came out negative, which means that, 3.4% in inflation. Wow. So we will also see the ECB president, that is the Euro Central Bank President Lagarde, actually speak. And we know that, when these people come out to speak, for those of us, maybe we're joining for the first time, or, maybe it's we're new to trading, you want to be able to know that when you see a bank governor coming out to speak, they're trying to tell you what is happening with the economy, maybe what their plans are in monetary policies. These are the things that affects the market, especially when you're a currency trader. You want to be able to know. I will always tell you, don't see yourself as a trader yes, I know we are all traders, but think of yourself as an investor. With an investor, you're able to think directly. You're able to place yourself, I have 100,000 naira and I'm putting it in this particular market. What should I expect? So you have to know these things. And then the king of the market comes up by 7 p.m. Now, why am I calling it the king of the market? We know that this market respects the dollar a lot because the market is quoted in dollars. And that is why, irrespective of what you trade your currency, you trade your commodity, you trade your indices, you trade agro commodities. When you have a high impact news coming from the dollar, you want to know what it is saying because you don't want to be caught unaware. Now, let's go back a couple of weeks. We understand that we saw CPI come out 3.2% for the dollar. And that is a far cry from what the Fed wants to do. The Feds are we want inflation to be at 2.0%. And now 3.2, that's a far cry from where they are headed, and then we already know that they have, when immediately this whole inflation thing started, we actually saw the Feds from the US begin to increase interest rates. They spiked it up, which we knew that the whole of last year, we saw the USD stand tall on the market. However, they spoke about this particular month in March that, okay, heading towards ending of last year, they told us that, okay, inflation looks good, and we will look at cutting interest rate. Let's not forget that as much as you want to increase interest rate is there to mop out money, that is there to reduce inflation. If you get to a certain percent, or you get to a particular point, your increase in interest rate can actually cause recession. Let's not forget that last year we saw major bank closure when it comes to the USD zone. Why? Because these people could not handle the interest rate. Let's not forget that when you put your money in the bank, this is where we will talk about a bit of fundamentals in this market. And these are the things that as traders you should understand. When you put your money in the bank, your money is not sitting down there. Your money goes out. In fact, 80% of your money goes out to make money for the bank. And that is why whatever you do, you don't just want your money lying down in the bank, because they'll come back to give you a 0.1%, 0.0001%. But how much that money has made for them, you don't want to know. So you put your money in the bank, 80% goes out, loans, bond yields, and then you have about maybe 10% still lying down in the bank. Now, with the increase of interest rates, business people started to think, oh, why would I go take loan to do business? Because if you're a business person, you know that, especially when you run a very good business, you know that most of these things are done with loans. They're not done with your personal money. So now they're telling me that maybe if I'm borrowing 1 million, I have to pay back maybe 1.5 or maybe 1.7. That's actually very, some really huge interest rate. So instead of that, let me go and take my money. Now, the fact that most of your money has gone out of the bank to make money, bank cannot go back and say, and you know what, we gave you loan, but the owner of the money wants to collect it, so you have to give it back. No. So now banks could not pay out, because now a lot of business owners were going back to take the money that they had at the bank. So bank could not pay out. So we saw some banks closing down, we saw mergers happening. So at this particular point in time, we are actually looking at what the USD looks at doing, even when inflation still remains at a high. We can see that our forecast here, is forecasted that we're still going to leave it unchanged. But based on the fact that inflation keeps spiking up, I'm really curious. Me right now, I am curious to see what the USD would actually do. And by 10:45 p.m., I don't know, people are trade the NZD, or we're going to be seeing the GDP. When you talk about GDP, you know that you're looking at the entire economy. You're looking at both the currencies, you're looking at the stocks, you're looking at whatever that makes up that particular economy. We're going to see whether the NZD is a good place to have our money in, or if we should stay clear. So that would take us back to our chart. Please, I hope we can all see the chart. I hope you can all see my chart though. So it's going to be, because of the news by 7 p.m., we will see a very direct market this morning. One thing I want to ask you for, one thing I want to beg you for, please, this is a time to have good money in your account. I can understand, the whole, but this is a very good time to have money in your accounts, because there are times that you might find yourself needing to sit on trade. I would say this as an example, the fact for people that took GDP USD a couple of days ago. I had a particular client that I was like, just hold on. And because he had good capital, he was still able to sit, because right now the market seemed a bit tension, because we want to know what the USD wants to do. Because if you've been a trader in this market, you know that the USD kind of give directions to what most of this instrument is going to do. So looking at my USD IDX this morning, we could see that this one thing, the thing is, I have tried to find out a very good reason why, what is giving the dollar strength. Like, what exactly is happening? What is going on? So let's not forget that we are in election year. And this is a year whereby all the buzz will happen. And Biden and Powell, if you've been a trader for a while, you should be able to tell how Powell moves. When I talk about Powell, I'm talking about Jerome Powell, the central bank governor of the United States. Powell is not somebody that is going to sit and watch the dollar fall on his watch. So that man will do anything it takes to keep the dollar at a high. And at this point in time, of course, Biden still wants to win the election. So whether you like it or not, you might still see dollar being a high. But the question right now is, to what extent are they going to, keep the dollar at a high? Are they going to do it to the extent of the economy? So trust me when I say that the news by 7 p.m. is actually one that is very, like, I think the world is watching, the world is waiting. So looking at my USD IDX this morning, I enjoy using my Fibonacci.
Can't see your screen, no.
You can't see my screen. Can you all hear me? Can you
Share
hear
your
me?
screen.
All
Share your
right, let me
screen.
share my screen.
Share your screen.
Okay. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
All right then. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So now, look, I enjoy using my Fibonacci a lot because at this point in time, apart from my support and resistance, I want to see my retracement point. I don't want to go into the market blindly. Now, we could see that earlier this morning. Please, if you don't mind muting yourself. Earlier this morning, we saw this inverted AMA. It's a perfect inverted AMA, which actually comes out to tell us when you have an inverted AMA, it's telling you to watch that the market is about to go down. However, don't forget that this market is expectant of a news. This market is thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. I hope you can see my screen right now. So now this market is expectant of a news, and you can see that I formed a doji here. If it had given us a bearish confirmation here, we would have said we should go in for a sell. But you can see that this particular market has respected this contour fib line right here. So it's going to be very simple for me. I will take my buy once market is it's able to break above my high of today. If it's able to break above my high of today, I will take a buy and follow it to my to this particular before my resistance right here, just respecting the bodies of this candle. And for my sell, I'll take it at the lowest point of today. And just so that now, like I said, please, this is a good time to have money in your accounts, because don't forget, one thing I always tell my clients is that capital is a strategy. You like it or not, capital on its own, having capital on its own is a strategy. So you want to be able to, the thing is, whether you like, this market goes only two ways, buy or sell. The fact that I'm on a buy and the market is selling doesn't mean that I have lost that trade. Sometimes all you need is patience. Capital and patience sometimes can make you so much money. I would always tell my clients this. This happened to me last year, December. I took a trade on US 100. I had ₦1 million in my account. And for me, I'm not a greedy trader. I just look at making at least 10% of my capital every day, at least 100K, and I'm fine. But unfortunately, that market was against me. I was on a buy and this market just started to sell. Okay. I said, you know what? I just left the trade. I can tell you that I closed that trade in January this year, on the 5th to be precise. I opened the trade on the 13th of December, 2023, and I closed it on the 5th of January 2024 with a profit of 500,000 naira. What do you think played out there? Capital. And when I mean capital, I don't mean, because I have ₦1 million, let's enter with a standard lot. No, a standard lot will show you that ₦1 million is not so much money. I had that particular trade on 0.02. And I didn't have to lose a dime. So these are the times in the market that you want your capital to play out for you. So this morning, if it sells below my point of today, just right here at 103.452, I will take it. You can see that where I have my tone code support, there's also a 23.6 retracement point. So I want to take my profit before market gets there. Let's not forget that we're expecting a news. And if it's able to break below this point, we continue with a sell. However, you want to pay respect to where you can see that this is where market started today, right? So you can see that market has moved and respected this particular point. Now, for people who are maybe risk takers, you could check this on a lesser time frame. Let's see this in 30 minutes. Okay, you can see that market is between this same resistance, and it's actually on this 23. But you can see that, like I said, it has also respected this particular point. So when price is able to break this particular line here, we can continue with a buy. However, if this is a good time to actually, you could see that it has done this candle. You could see price still sell to this point. However, so that you do not get stuck, remember, we have news today by 7 p.m. And yes, you can be stuck on a trade today by 7 p.m. So I think I'll respect my entries on my 1 hour and then just stay within this point. At least from now to 7 p.m., I know that the market is definitely going to pick up one of this. So you can take a buy at 103.578, take profit of buy at 103.668, take a sell at 103.452, take a profit at 103.391. Now, today is not a day to be greedy. This is a warning. Today is not a day to be greedy. So try to stay within reasonable entry point, right? So now let's move to USD JPY. Immediately I got to the office yesterday, I had someone just ask me a question that, what's going on? No, USD JPY increase interest rates, but the markets did not sell. They are still seeing that strength in the dollar. Like I said, I have been checking, I have been asking, I've been wondering what is going on. Hope you all can hear me. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right then. All right. So now, I've been wondering, okay, Anita, what happened to
You are too fast, please.
All right then. I'm going to try to take it slow, but so that we can also take some good entries on the markets before, So now, looking at USD JPY. So the question has been, like I said earlier, what has been driving the USD? We have seen, when you try to check what's going on. So just like I said, you want to see that it is election here. So this particular market. So what happened to the JPY? Even with the increase in interest rate, we're not seeing any further movement. And this happened, this took me back to last year when we had this same news from the Eurozone. I think we also had it from CAD, if I'm not mistaken. And, the Eurozone came out to increase their interest rates by 5.0 basis points at once. And, we're expecting a spike up on the euro. However, what we saw was a downtrend for the euro at that particular point, and everybody was wondering, oh, what's going on? I thought interest rate is supposed to strengthen a particular economy. Yes, it is supposed to, because it means that any investor coming into the economy right now would be able to make some good money from it. However, you need to understand, like I said, economy plays a very important role here. You cannot compare the US economy to the euro economy, to CAD economy. So you want to be able to understand what is going on within. Increasing interest rates is not just all about that. There are other things investors would look at before, okay, these people have good interest rate. What else affects that particular? So I'd like to think that that is also one thing. At the long run, we might actually see this play out good for JPY. However, for this period of time, we still see that the dollar has a strong hold over this particular instrument. So taking the buy today, I think it's very direct. I will take it just when price break here at 151.645, and then take my profit just before my Provence resistance. Just like I said, you want to have capital at this particular point. And a sell for me would happen when price is able to break this stone cold resistance. I don't see it breaking the stone cold resistance, except we're seeing a retracement happen. However, you know what? I would advise that you wait for this particular candle to close. This particular candle that we have here. Let me increase so we're able to see. Yes, we can see that as much as the candle is little, it is still moving in a particular direction, which is upward. So if this candle, this one forming right now, breaks below this particular tone code resistance, we can take a further sell. However, if it breaks above this particular two candles that have happened already, then we can follow it, up. So I would just advise that you wait for this candle to close for us to know that. So like I said, it has to break conveniently. And one thing you want to avoid is a fake out. That is, you can see this candle right now, stretch is weak. and come down, and you think, oh, it has broken. It has not broken till you see this particular candle here. You see it broke conveniently above the resistance, and that was why this particular candle was able to stay above the resistance. So you would want this candle to close comfortably, that is, let another candle begin before you go in for a sell. Don't say that, okay, because I see a long week now, this week I've reached here now, so it means, just like, for instance, just like this one, you see that this particular, it came down here but still came back to close up. So if it came down here and you said that, okay, it has broken, let me enter a sell, you see that you would have made a loss. So you would want to be able to pay attention, look at it, let your candle close comfortably and another one should start, then you go in for a sell. Like I said, you want to be very careful today, because we're, the news we're expecting by 7 is one that the world is looking at, everybody's expecting. So you want to be very careful with your entry points this morning. That is if you're going into the market. So you want to be able to take your entry points just here, for a sell. When this particular candle breaks below this resistance, you take it down here. And once it's able to break above these two, if it's able to close above these two candles, at this point, at 151.645, then you take your buy and follow to the proven resistance. Moving forward, let's look at what Euro USD is doing this morning. The funny thing about Euro, like the only thing that has kept the Euro down is the fact that we have this war going on. And I don't know, we have Russia, Ukraine, we have Israel, Hamas. Yes, nobody's talking about it. The news are not carrying it, but it's still happening. It is still happening. And that is also one reason why we are seeing that we saw that push up in gold. But before we get to gold, let's talk about our Euro USD. Let me cancel this, delete this so that we do not. Good. Now, but that this is one instrument that, that struggled. In fact, this is one instrument that a lot of people peer against the dollar. But we could see that this very morning, it has respected my contour. I enjoy using FIB a lot because FIB shows me a lot of things that I need to see. So you can see that it has sold, it has done some selling, and then from here, it has picked up. However, what is going to determine whether this particular instrument will continue to buy or continue to sell is how the news for dollar is going to come out. Why? Because there is war in the Eurozone at this particular point in time. There is war in the Eurozone at this particular point in time. And at this point in time, I'm very sure that even you as a person, you don't want to go and put your money in an economy. It's just like saying this, our Nigeria in the north, where we have a lot of terrorism. You're not going to take your money and go and open a business in where that so one day you can wake up and they say that all your business was burnt to the ground because of one conflict or the other. So at this particular point in time, investors are very wary of the Eurozone. However, what would direct this market now would be either the strength or the weakness of the dollar. So we could see that this particular morning price has been between this particular week support. It has also, we have a retracement point here, which is a verified resistance and a weak resistance. So this is going to be a very, very tricky market to handle this morning. So now, for me, basically, if you want to go into this market, just wait for price to break either above your resistance or below your support for you to take a buy or a sell. However, there are still opportunities I can see in between. Now I see a sell opportunity when price comes back to break my 23.6 retracement point and you follow it down to this week's support. Like I said, now when you have a fundamental, especially coming out later in the day, the first thing I always check out for is how the market have started. Looking at the beginning of the candle here, this is the beginning of this morning. You can see that it has respected this particular area. So you want to be able to have a clear direction. To have a clear direction, you want to be able to have a clear direction, you want to be able to either wait for markets to break your high of that day or your low of that day to know whether you can take a buy or a sell. Yes, to know whether you take a buy or a sell. So you can see when price breaks this particular level here, you can take it down to this week's support. However, for you to be safe, for you to have a clear direction, I will take a buy when price gets to 1.08780, and I'll take a sell at 1.08556. So you know that if the news come out today, okay, this would be definitely before the news, however, but you know, just right here, and my profit for a buy will be somewhere around here. Yeah, and then my profits for a sell would be somewhere around here. Let's not forget that we're expecting the news. And yes, by 9:45 this morning, we can actually see that movement when the news from, you know, President Lagarde is actually out. We have a news this morning, a medium impact news. Now, at this point in time, it will be that at this moment in time, it's going to be that, my medium impact news, medium impact news don't actually have so much. Yes, sometimes they do not, but sometimes they do. So at this point in time, you don't want to ignore your medium impact news as well, because you might be sleeping on it and it comes, and I've seen medium impact news do some really bad damage. And I've also seen it make some really good money. So at this point in time, you want to be aware of your medium impact and also your high impact news. We'll see, for people who have been trading the market a while, you know that there was a time that crude oil inventory used to be a high impact news. But as economic changed, we saw it became a low impact news. And at this point, sometimes we see it be a medium impact news. So you want to still be able to pay attention to whatever the market is telling you. And now let's talk about gold. I've always wanted to talk about this instrument for a while now. Gold is doing some amazing things, but it is also doing some, some things as well. So we saw gold pick up one day and gold just didn't want to come back down. We saw gold pick up one day. Now, one thing you need to understand about gold is that whether you like it or not, whether you enjoy trading it or not, gold is valuable. I mean, if you check, almost all countries in the world have their reserve in gold. So whether at some point gold is selling or not, you always know that this is an instrument that will always have value, especially when diversification wants to happen. Now, when we talk about diversification, we know that there was a time that investors would pick the dollar anytime, any day, and leave gold. Of course, I mean, if I have the dollar working for me, that's great. And the reason why we see the dollar and the USD kind of have its negative thing is because the USD is not backed up by any commodity, like the way our Canadian dollar is backed up by oil. The dollar is not. That is why when the dollar is falling, you see that impact on gold. When the dollar is rising, you see the impact on gold. So this particular, one thing I want you to know about this particular instrument is that it is actually here to stay, because the fact right now that every economy is kind of having one inflation issues to another. As an investor, I just want to keep my money where it is safe. So, I mean, at this point in time, man, this is you need to start understanding that buying gold jewelries for your wife is an investment. So if you don't buy it for them, this is the time for you to buy it. I can tell you that I profit a lot from those particular kind of things. You buy, I mean, the last time I bought a gram of gold, I bought it for 19,000 naira. The last time I checked the price, a gram is actually worth 84,000 naira right now. So that is one thing we don't say you buy these things, you hold them because they are of value. This, I think that in the next decade to come, in the next 20 decades, gold is still going to have that value, whether we like it or not. So this is a time that if you have it, go for gold, buy the jewelries. You don't have to wear them. I understand the kind of country we are, but just hold them. This is not money in the air. This is something that when you hold, you know that you're holding money, because by the time this thing spikes up, you'd always be surprised of just how much you can make. Now, we've seen gold actually head, we've been expecting gold to do more of a, more of retracement that has actually done. I want to look at this instrument on my 4 hours. Good. We could see that from here, which was the 13th of February, we've seen gold just do its thing, do its thing, do its thing, and it came in. Now, this is not the highest high gold I've actually done. So we've been expecting that, we've even seen high impact news happen after then, and we've expected that, okay, if this high impact news comes out positive for dollar, we'll see gold drop. And then the news comes out and it's positive for dollar, and gold is not moving anywhere. So at this particular point in time, I'm hoping that today, which is going to actually be the federal funds rate, it's actually going to give a definite direction for this particular instrument. So we can see that for times at this, gold has just been, so we're just going to take a buy for gold, even if at this point, some people will say, a buy for gold is risky, but it is not going to be anything that is going to keep us in the market for too long, because whether we like it or not, gold is making movements. It's moving, it's doing its thing. So I'll take a buy for gold. I would want to say above this verified resistance, but like I said, there's still an opportunity between this point to this point. Now, when you're taking all of these little opportunities, your capital comes into play, right? Because you can see price test here and still, retrace, and, and of course, please find a good lot size that is suitable for your account size. Don't say, it's time for me to make money, and you're going with a very crazy lot size and the market takes you out even before 7 p.m. But speaking about 7 p.m., please get your accounts ready, because we're going to see movement on this particular market. So you can see here that, just like I spoke about when we were talking about Euro USD, you see that anybody could have actually gotten stuck in this market as price came up. And anybody that saw this particular moment, that gold would, gold would buy starting from here. And then you see it came back down, did a little bit of sell and went back up. So like I said, your capital is actually going to do a lot of playing out here, because imagine if you took the market from here for a buy and you do not have just enough capital to hold you for this buy to continue, you find yourself either out of the market or you find yourself doing another thing. So you want to be able to have enough capital that gets you to stay on trade. So taking my buy today for gold will just be at 2160.57 and take it before my verified resistance. This is on 1 hour. Yes, here. And then my sell would come to my lowest candle of today and take my profits before my 23.6 feet level. Yes, so this is going to be my entry for gold for today. I said I'm taking the buy at 2160.57, and I will take a sell at I take my profit, for my buy at 2162.22, and take a sell when price gets to 2155.94, and take profit at 2154.36. That is my entry for gold this morning. Now let's take a look at oil. Now, one thing about oil is that whether you like it or not, just like I said, this market respects the dollar, and whatever we see happening to oil right now is the fact of what the dollar is actually doing. Yes, the dollar is the one right now creating dents. The dollar is currently creating dents when it comes to my oil market. Now, we already know that this oil market is very profitable. However, please, your capital is going to determine how you're going to trade oil. However, we've seen that, as much as the dollar has picked up as well, this we saw the oil pick up about a couple of days ago, and it was actually based on, you already know that definitely one thing the world is doing right now, oil is actually very important, as much as we are looking at other ways to generate power and all of that. But the war happening still, we still need some really, really good oil. Oil is still needed to be able to run business, a lot of it at this particular moment. So let me just see where we can take some trades this morning on oil. Okay, so this is also between, if you realize that most instruments this morning are actually between support and resistance, meaning that the market is waiting for something. Most times when you see markets be between, hovering between support and resistance, it's not breaking the support, it's also not breaking the resistance. It means that something is, the market is expectant of something for us to know whether it's going to move up or it's going to move down. However, we still need to make money. So my buy for oil this morning would just be right here at 87.36. Take my profits before the verified resistance. Good lot size is going to help here. However, we can see that the market have started to sell. Would I enter an instant sell? Well, probably. I would probably take an instant sell on oil. I'm coming. Okay, so let's pay attention to the candlestick. I'll probably take an instant sell on oil and take profit just before the point. So now, I'm having 2 entry points for a sell now. So now I can take an instant sell right now at 87.01 and take a profit at 86.79. However, I can also wait for price to get to 86.79 and then take profits right here, because we could also see that we have a support zone just at this point. So if you know that, okay, I don't have enough capital that would maybe, if it gets here and it bounce back up, maybe I would be in a loss, you can actually wait for price to get here, because you could see right here that there is a support right here. So when price is able to break the support, then we follow it to the verified support. So that is taking a sell at 86.79 and taking profit at 86.52. However, you can take an instant sell and at where price is right now and maybe take profit. The first take profit can be 86.79 and second take profit can be 86.52. That is going to be my entry for oil this morning. Now, we've looked at USD IDX, we've looked at our USD JPY, we've looked at our Euro card, we've looked at our oil, we've looked at our gold. Let me just move that aside so that now let's look at indices. Let's look at the US 100. Now, this is one market that I enjoy trading because it is as direct as possible. When you look at the US 100 now, there are certain things that makes up the US 100. That is, there are things that we know that this is a technological stock. And, even from the beginning of last year, we've already said how this particular instrument is always going to buy because the world is accepting AIs at this point in time. I mean, everything we're doing right now, we're talking AI. We're talking this, we're talking AI. Even in the trading markets, we're already talking AI. So tell me what you think this instrument is actually going to do. So we saw the US stocks index, it moves little in evening deals on Tuesday, following a positive tech fell session on Wall Street, with focus turning squarely to the conclusion of a Federal Reserve meeting later in the day. Like I said, this market is expectant, it is expectant of what the dollar is going to do. Now, renewed optimism over artificial intelligence after market darling Nvidia Corporation. I mean, for the past few weeks, we've been seeing that one particular stock that has given the US so much, that is the US 100, so much strength is Nvidia. And Nvidia is literally now one of the, the fourth most valuable company in the world, coming up in some weeks with about 14% increase in stocks. That is a lot of money, So we've seen it unveiled pricing and shipment details of its new line of AI chips was, a key driver of gains on the Wall Street during the session. But this optimism was largely countered by anticipation of the Fed, which could provide a more hawkish outlook on interest rates following a string of hotter than expected inflation reading. Remember, I said that the CPI came out not good for the dollar, and that would naturally anybody would expect that the Fed would increase interest rates. Let's not forget that interest rate is the highest it has been in centuries. So now it's more of, are they actually going to do that? Are they going to increase interest rate? Are they going to reduce? Are they going to leave it unchanged? I mean, just about last year ending, we're talking about cutting down interest rate. Now you're saying inflation is still, very much in the economy. So now like it is actually very, very expected that. I mean, people were actually looking forward to it anyway. So the Fed's meeting, Paul, we're addressing focus. The Fed is set to conclude a 2-day meeting later on Wednesday, with markets broadly expecting the central bank to keep interest rate on hold. Now, normally, with whatever we've seen on the dollar, we're still expecting it to remain unchanged. But the bank statement on monetary policy, along with a post-meeting press conference by Chair Jerome Powell, will be closely watched for any cues on interest rate cuts. Hotter than expected inflation prints for January and February spurred fears that the Fed could trim its outlook for rate cuts in 2024. Given that it had repeatedly signaled that a part of inflation would drive any loosening in monetary policy. Sticky inflation coupled with the recent signs of resilience in the US economy gives the Fed more headroom to keep rates higher for longer. If they look at increasing interest rates, well, we'll see how it plays out. But now coming to our US 100, where do we take our entries for this morning? You can see that opening this market has respected our weak resistance, and it has respected our 61.8 Fibonacci retracement point. So for me this morning, I would take a sell on my US 100. Why? Because we could see it has actually hit this weak resistance, and I don't see the market breaking this weak resistance except by 2:30 when the market is opening. But for this morning, I would respect it, and I could wait for this candle to close, because definitely you could see it respected, and then hit here and took the sell back down. Started again, but. So hit here. The only way to go right now is down. So wait for this candle to close and then take a sell and follow it down. So now you can take your first take profit here, or you can take your second take profit. This is a particular instrument that respects so much demand and support and resistance. So when it gets here, once it does not break here, you can take another buy from there and follow it back to the weak resistance. So like I said, market is buying right now. Wait for this candle to close. Once it doesn't break this weak resistance, like I said, you don't just want to jump into the market. You want to be able to use eyes and see what the market is doing. So sometimes, or most times, you wait for confirmations. So this market now, don't just jump into a buy, because you can see that it bought to this point and it's retracing. So wait for this candle to close. It could actually continue this buy to hit this weak resistance, but so you don't get stuck, you wait for this candle to close. Once you see a sell candle about to start, once it doesn't break your weak resistance, all you need to do is follow it back down to where you have your 61.8 fib. So that is at 18231.78. That is my take profit for my as a sell for my US 100 this morning. So I'm using my US 100 to finish up what it has started. That is, it takes this buy to this point, it sells back down till the news is out. Till 2:30. So we might see a break in any of those points by 2:30. That's the opening market for the New York session. You can actually take it at once it's able to break, then you follow it. But for this morning, we would see this particular market head between the support and this resistance and this support at this particular point. So that is it for the US 100. Now looking at the US 30, definitely this market actually, they move almost in the same direction. There is however, but that sometimes they have a mind of their own. So for the US 30, looking at what it's going to do this morning, you could see that it already hit that weak support and it has not been able to break it. Yes, exactly. So you could see, but then it is very tricky at this point, because you can see that market has not done anything. You can see that it is between this point and this point, little candles. You don't want to go and get stuck. So for me, you take a sell when price is able to break here. Once price breaks that place, you take a sell and you take your profit here. Now, you would not say that, okay, because of its respecting support and resistance, you want to follow it back down. Like I said, when you have a fundamental, look at what your candles have been able to do earlier in the morning. That would give you an insight of how long should I be on a buy and how long should I be on a sell. You don't just want to say, okay, support and resistance. No. You can see that ever since market opened this morning, it has been very, 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 very indecisive and tricky. So you don't just want to go in like that and say, okay, let me take a sell right now, because you can see market can start, a new candle can begin just above this candle. So for me this morning, a sell would be okay once price breaks this particular region, and then you can follow it back. Respect the candles. Sometimes you just have to just follow it down to this point, and then if it's able to break anything above below there, then you can continue. Now, talking about fake outs, you can see that market actually broke this resistance. It did not close above it. So anybody that would have said, oh, I want to take a buy immediately after this can just actually be stuck, because right now you're losing money. So you want to take a buy when price is able to close above it. You see, this week has actually given us, a bit of an edge. So you want to actually just let your entry be a little bit above it, so that if it's coming back to test that particular region, you don't actually get stuck. So somewhere above here, you take your buy and, you just take your profit. Just somewhere here, you could see that this morning we might not see any major movements, but so that we can actually take some opportunities in the market. So just respect it, this particular candles. Me personally, if I'm actually going to take this particular US 30, I might actually try just scalp between here, this point and this point. However, you need to have a very good understanding of your candlestick patterns for you to be able to scalp that. So I would just, try to do something in between here, but you don't necessarily have to do it. Trust me, you don't have to get stuck on any market before your news is out. So that is for US 100 and US 30. Now let's look at 2000. Now this market has been very, very interesting, especially I think starting this month. I've enjoyed some really good profits on this market. So looking at what the market has done today, don't forget that it's still a US index. But these indices, as much as they might move in the same direction, they have sometimes they have minds of their own. So you could see that this particular market now is actually sitting comfortably on a retracement point. So for me, a sell on my US 2000, okay, would actually happen when price breaks this point, and I will take my profits. This is a big market, big money, big volume, big profit. However, if you're on the wrong side of this market, big losses. So you do not want to go into this market when you do not have the right capital. Just take my profit here, and then I would take a sell. I'll take a buy when price gets to this point. Yep. And take my profit somewhere around here. So like I said, quick entries, quick scalping, something just to make us money this morning. However, let's not forget that we have news today, please. We have news, and it is coming from the USD. We call our USD the big brothers of the market. And these people would always, like I said, this is election year, they would always find a way to make the dollar look good. Now, just the fact that you see the dollar looking good doesn't mean that the economy is good. Don't forget that these people would always find a way to make what they want to make look good. However, respect what the market is doing so that you do not get caught on any news on any trade before the news. If you get caught on any trade, please, before 7 p.m., because I know this is one thing a lot of clients like to do. They like to wait till when the market is actually, maybe when the news is about to come out, then they are calling their account manager, what should I do? Please, before the news is out, try to make sure that all your trades are okay. Either you are out of your trades or you are leaving before 7 p.m. And if there's any news, maybe you're on negative and you don't know what to do, please reach out to your account manager before 7, because even your account manager wants to trade and make money. And you know that when it comes to trading fundamentals, you want to have your attention. So don't say by 7 p.m. I was calling my account manager and he did not answer me. He also wants to make money. Everybody on this market wants to make money. So anything you're doing this morning before 7 p.m., please make sure that you're out of the market. Prepare yourself. Maybe you are taking your pending orders. You're going in for instant trade. Prepare yourself for the movement of the market. Don't wait till when you see that the news is going against you and you've been on a trade since some time and then you are now losing money. Then you are calling your account manager and your account manager is not able to respond and you say your account manager made you lose money. Nobody made you lose money. So know the positions you are taking. And now, time for your fundamentals. You don't need to now go and start looking for 20 instruments or 10 instruments to take. Understand the instrument you want to trade. Before now till 7 p.m., you can think about it. Do I want to trade my USD ITX? Do I want to trade my US 100? Do I want to trade my gold? Know where you want to stay. Position yourself really well in the market so that by the time the news is out, you are able to take your enter your trade, take your profits, and you're out of the market. Like I said, it is not a time to be greedy. This is not a time to be greedy because you don't want to get stuck on a trade at this particular point in time. I'm sure some of you already know. So this is not a time to be greedy. If you have the account size, go in with a good lot size, make your profit within a short period of time and leave the market. And if you know that I want to make really good money, even if it's a short movement, trust me, I have a client that even if the market moves by 1 peep, he's able to take advantage of it. That's one thing I like about him. He's able to, and you see him making some really mad. Why? Because he has been on the market for a while, so he understands the movement. He understands that all you just need to do is understand your opportunity, see it. If it's something that maybe you try to reach out to your account manager, let them do an analysis for you. Okay, I want to trade gold. What do you think? How do you think? That is why your account manager is there. It's not just to tell you, fund your account. No, I want to trade gold this evening. Please, what do you think? How do you think I should go about it? Let us share these ideas with you so that you're able to position yourself. And then when the news is out, we're able to take advantage of it. So this is actually going to bring us to the end of today's morning market review. If there's anything, or maybe you feel you have more questions based on this, please reach out to your account manager. They are very well capable of answering any questions from the market today. And if you actually want to speak with me, you can ask your account officer for just to ask your account officer to speak to your account officer, and I'll reach out to you directly. So thank you very much. Please let's not forget to top up our account, take the right trades. Don't get greedy, and I'm sure we're going to make a lot of money. So the next time I'm here, I'm very sure I'll be asking a lot of people how much we made from today's news. It was nice having this class with you. See you all tomorrow. Don't forget this class is Mondays to Fridays every single day. And please do have a very traded and profitable trade today. Have a lovely day, guys. See you guys soon. Thank you.